and is also South Africa's former ambassador to Argentina some years ago. Mr. Leon, thank you very much for coming into our Cape Town studios this morning. First up, just an overriding sense from you of what is really going on here within the DA.
Well, I think what's going on is a bit of a mess at the moment because the DA obviously wants to be rid of Patricia de Lille as the mayor of Cape Town and as a member of the party, and she's fighting back in quite a determined fashion and has won 2 rounds so far in the Western Cape High Court. So that's on the one hand, and that's on the legal procedural side. On the substance side, whether de Lille sent that SMS to Cynthia Limburg, which was an improper and arguably illegal thing to do. Patricia de Lille has, of course, given no answer, and she's again back in court today trying to get access to another party report compiled by its chief whip, John Steenhuisen, as to why her leadership in the Cape Town City Council has been problematic. So there are a whole lot of different things happening. And of course, from the party's point of view, this is a very, to put it mildly, unfortunate combination of events coming on top of the drought situation here, which was obviously not the party's fault, and the Helen Zille saga, which didn't cover the party in glory either. So I think you've got 3 different things happening simultaneously, all of which affect the ratepayers of Cape Town. Now, from a party point of view, any political division that's played out in public like this is a challenge for a political party like the DA, which prides itself on good governance and internal good order. And at least on the face of it, these 2 simultaneous things happening, both the court proceedings, which have gone against it, and the more substantive matters, which could arguably go against de Lille, have not helped. But, you've got to take a longer view in politics. And it might be said that while this is an issue about morality, or the morality both of de Lille and the morality of how the DA has dealt with her, people in Cape Town and the Western Cape still, by any measure, enjoy better government and more corruption-free services than any other part of South Africa. So I guess from the party's point of view, at least in the minds of the voters, it will be hoping that it can put the saga behind it as soon as possible, and it's taken a great deal of time so far, in order to get the other narrative that it governs better, more effectively, and more honestly than any other party in South Africa.
Now, you've touched on a number of issues in that overriding response, Mr. Leon. Thanks for that. You mentioned that it's a mess, and you've mentioned that from a party perspective, as long as there's delivery on the ground, the voters rather look at that. I mean, Musi Maimane yesterday saying this is not, to quote his words, as big an elephant as we are making it out to be. But the fact remains that there is a spat that's underway currently, and as you correctly said, Ms. de Lille fighting back, and today she'll be back in court on the other case. I mean, with the elections next year not so far away, shouldn't internally the DA, in your view, really try and move quickly and make this less of a legal battle and just sort it out politically quickly within themselves as a party?
Yes, of course, that's what the party wants to do, but it's only one of 2 parties in this matter, the other being Patricia de Lille, who, if nothing else, is a master of public relations and, in a sense, playing the victim card, and she's been assisted because the party, at least in terms of court judgment, acted unfairly or unprocedurally against her so far. So I think what the party is now going to do, or it said it's going to do, is to move a motion of no confidence against Patricia de Lille, which, of course, it might bring off. It failed last time, and no doubt a lot of carrots and sticks are being used against the recalcitrant DA councillors who last time didn't support the motion in order to get it through. That will mean, if it passes, and I don't know when it's going to happen because the council is currently in recess, that de Lille will cease to be the mayor of Cape Town, and once she ceases to be the mayor of Cape Town, that's the end of the road as far as her current role is concerned, and then the party, and indeed the council, can elect a new mayor. But of course the legal matters will go on, and here the DA is between a rock and a hard place because, as I understand it, in terms of the judgment yesterday, it's considering an appeal, not because it's going to win on the one arm, which is that the party did not give Patricia de Lille fair and proper chance to respond, because I don't see how they can overturn that part of the judgment. But I think the party is much more exercised about the other part of the judgment, which said that the Federal Legal Commission of the party was improperly constituted, because, as you and your viewers would be aware, there have been a number of what you might call Lille copycats. They've got a DA mayor in George who is being disciplined by the party, and you've got a situation in Knysna where the DA mayor conspired with the ANC to get elected. So if, in fact, the Federal Legal Commission of the party is improperly constituted, how does the party then go about disciplining those people? And indeed, all the other people or officials who've been disciplined by the party might indeed be able to get all their adverse decisions overturned, or the decisions against them. So I think really legally the party is in a very difficult spot right now, and it's going to try and disentangle all these matters. And of course, in the broader voters' mind, people don't like to see divided political parties, and they don't like to see parties which look by necessity at their own interests rather than at the voters' interests. So I think it's a complex environment right now, and it's a combination of unfortunate circumstances which has put the party to an extent on the back foot.
Now, Mr. Leon, finally, before I let you go, we're heading towards a general election next year. We don't have the date yet. The president has not yet proclaimed the date when we're going to have the elections. We anticipate, as we've been doing in the media, that is going to be during the winter months, judging by how we voted in the past since 1994, the time at which we voted. Now, do you think this scenario you've just alluded to, you've pointed out, will drag down the DA even further, so to speak, as we edge towards the 2019 elections?
I think it's far too early to tell. To use the cliche, a week is a long time in politics. This Lille saga has been going on for 10 months, but it could end quite soon. And at that point, of course, the party can then get back to its core message, that it presents a viable alternative to the ANC, and it's got a different set of better policies which can grow the economy, create more jobs, provide more services to more people, and look after the core interests of its voters. If it gets back to that message, I think the DA will do well. If it keeps being mired in the negative narrative in which it's currently embroiled, it won't. But, you know, there's still time to play, and indeed there's everything to play for.
Thank you very much. Former DA leader Tony Leon in our studios in Cape Town, sharing some of his views and insights about the ongoing spat between the DA and Patricia de Lille.